Hi, my name is Christine Adam, and I am here today to answer a question that came up in a session with an actor client. So I'm going to give a bit of context for this before I ask the question. The context is that this actor felt like she really struggled to retain or remember her lines. And part of that was coming from a kind of self-reinforcing process where she didn't really particularly enjoy learning lines. So she would really procrastinate and then kind of learn the lines in the last minute and would feel like that really affected her confidence walking into an audition in particular, but also a performance situation or even a rehearsal situation where she didn't have the confidence that she really believed she knew the lines. And then of course that would affect her ability to remember her lines, which then she would, reinforce the anxiety over, am I going to remember my lines? So the question was and is, how can I learn my lines in a more effective way? So let me start by saying that there are a lot of effective ways to learn lines, and not everything is going to work for everyone. So a big part, of course, of your craft as an actor is to find a way that works for you. And also at the same time, there are definitely ways of learning lines that can make the experience feel a lot more tedious, a lot less fun. And that can certainly make it less appealing in general, which may lead to some procrastination. So I'm going to talk today about some ways that you can reframe line learning so that it can really come into alignment with your character development and be a lot more enjoyable. And I'm talking about this from the context of character development, but you could still have problems learning a script if, you have to give a big keynote, or there's a pitch you have to give for your company and there are particular words you need to use. So you may not be an actor, but you may still find something useful from this video and just translate what I say about character development as you need to so that this process can work for you. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to reframe this idea of line learning, that it's not just about you looking at a page with words on them and trying to remember those words. Learning lines is actually about understanding and learning and embodying your character's thought structure. So when we speak, right, we have this, it starts with a thought, and then that thought is accompanied by an impulse to speak. And I'm using that word thought because it just simplifies it. But of course we know from having that impulse ourselves that it's more than just thought, right? That emotions can come up, that there can be sensations in the body about how the body is feeling as you're speaking what you're trying to say. And of course, when we break language down, it's a series of sounds that have different sensations in the body as we're talking. So there's the sensation aspect to it, and there's the imagery aspect of it as well, right? Like the way a person expresses themselves tells you a lot about how they see the world. And connecting those words to your own inner imagery is a really big part of you not just remembering the words, but building associations for yourself so that these words can become personalized to you. So what I'm really trying to say here is that these aren't just words on a page. This is a human being. This is a whole human being that you are learning that you're essentially through the lines getting to know and learning how to embody. So when you're trying to learn lines, it's not just about mental memorization. You have to give your body the experience of these words so that they actually become your words and you actually have an impulse and a drive to speak them. Yeah, that is the character development process, is that you are becoming this person through embodying the things that they say. So with that framework in mind, here's what I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend that as a line learning process, you stay static. Like if your line learning process tends to be that you kind of sit or lie on a bed or in a chair and you just stare at the words and you repeat them to yourself and you try to remember them, what you're doing there is you are divorcing your body from the words and from the experience of saying those words, which means it's much less likely to remember them on anything deeper than a kind of surface level. If we're only getting the words in our heads, we're only really going to remember them on a surface level. And that differentiation is crucial, because most of the time you're speaking these words in charged situations, right? You're speaking these words in situations where somebody's watching you. So you may be feeling some charge around that. You may be even feeling some nerves around that. So your body is more likely to remember those words in times of charge or a little bit of nervousness or excitement if you've gotten the words into your muscle memory by giving your body an experience. And there are different ways that you can do that. So my recommendation would always be that you get up on your feet as you learn the lines and you move your body. And you can move your body in ways that are in line with the rhythm of the text, so that you're not just looking at words on a page again, but you're actually moving in the rhythm of the thought structure. So how are the thoughts punctuated? And what is that telling you about the rhythm that a person speaks in? And what is that telling you about a rhythm that a person breathes in? Yeah, so as you're starting to move in the rhythm of those thought structures, you're much more likely to breathe with those thought structures, which means you can honor the full length of the thought. But also, as you're moving and breathing in the rhythm of the thought structure, you might start to have the feelings that a person would be feeling when they're breathing and speaking in this particular rhythm, and that's helping you discover the character's experience of, are they, how are they? Do they speak in a lot of kind of definitive short sentences? Do they have long winding sentences? Are they asking a lot of questions? And is that coming, do you think, from a state of curiosity or from uncertainty or from both? So as you start really exploring the language physically, you're not just embedding the lines, but you're embedding the lines through kind of your own experience of the words, which is also giving you the opportunity to get to know so much more than just the words, but also, how the character might be feeling, how they might be breathing, how they might be thinking, and the logic of their thoughts. Especially as you explore rhythm, then you might be getting a sense of, well, here's not just the words I'm saying, but the point I'm trying to make, which then will help those words come a lot more easier and a lot more organically. So ways to do that are through really typical actor training exercises whose primary function is really about exploring text and rhythm, but who have a wonderful secondary function of helping you learn lines. So these are your classic text exercises from Cicely Berry, or my particular take that I really enjoy working with are Barbara Hausman's exercises from the book Tackling Text. So in terms of exercises around rhythm, she has exercises around you walking your sentences. So you walk as you speak, and then you change directions at every bit of punctuation. So new part of the thought, new direction, which just helps get into the body, the flow and rhythm of the sentence, which is going to help with logic, with breath, which is with a sense of feeling, which will all help the words come more easily. And then in terms of connecting your own inner landscape of imagery to these words, so that you're bringing your own associations to these words, which are going to help your body really own them. Doing things like really fun, silly exercises. They seem fun and silly, but they're actually quite meaningful exercises of painting a picture with your body of every word you say as you say the word. So it doesn't have to be literal, but just every single word in the text, really creating some kind of physical image as you say the word. This is one of those exercises in drama school that actors always say, why are we doing this, when they're doing it? But after they do it and they come to speak the text again, almost always you get feedback like, wow, I was actually so much more connected to what I was saying. I could really see what I was saying as I was saying it, which if you can see what you're saying as you're saying it, you're much more likely to remember what the person was saying, right? If you can see it yourself. And also it really is helpful for just more organic movement in the body as you're speaking, breathing in the rhythm of how they're talking, feeling some of the things they might be feeling, and vocal connection as well. So people will say, oh, I felt like my voice was way more connected to what I was saying, and it was stronger and it was more alive. So the great thing about these exercises is they will help you discover more about who this person is. And because you're discovering more about who this person is, how they think, how they feel, how they breathe, what they're trying to say, the words just come along with that process. So in my opinion, it's much more fun. It's much more connected to really getting to know this character, and the lines then memorize themselves. So that would be my take on line memorization. Don't just see it as I've got to remember these words on a page. See it as this is a human being that I am going to embody. And part of that is I've got to explore and physicalize the way that they think so that I am connecting to the impulse to say these words. And then the words will come naturally and will be more remembered because you're giving your body the experience of the words. So I'm really curious for you to try this. I'm curious for you to see how this goes. I'm wondering if you're thinking, oh, I wonder if that's going to take longer to learn the lines, if I have to get up and move, especially if you've got a lengthy script. And I'm curious as to whether that's actually true, or whether it actually makes things happen in a shorter period of time. So I don't know. You come back, you tell me, let's start a dialogue. I love questions like this, so if it's bringing up more questions, feel free to come back at me. You can email me at Christine@voicewhatmatters.com. If you found this useful, please share this. Please share my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular monthly communication tips. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.